Yes.
Okay. So last point is to start that is a mutual inductance. Okay. So let's understand this again, this point. So for that you watch this video, you can understand again this concept of self inductance and mutual inductance. All of you can see this video now. બધાને દેખાય છે?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So the same concept, self-inductance and mutual inductance that we have learned in the last lecture. So that I repeat again. And all of you please write down the equation of this, because after that we calculate the example related to this. Okay. So at that time the equations we will require to calculate the example. So all of you please note down the equation of self-inductance, mutual inductance, self-induced EMF and mutual induced EMF. Yeah.
We will understand the concept of self-inductance and the mutual inductance, and then we will derive the expression for the self and the mutual inductance. So let's first see the inductance. So it is the property of an electric conductor by which the rate of change of current produces the electromotive force or a EMF. So let us say we have one coil and the current I is flowing through this coil. So the rate of change of current through this coil produces the EMF or a voltage. Now if this electromotive force or a voltage is produced within that same coil, then that is called a self-inductance. And if the rate of change of current produces the EMF or a voltage in nearby coil, then that is called a mutual inductance. So let's understand first the self-inductance. So as we have said earlier, the voltage or EMF that is generated is proportional to the rate of change of current. So we can write V is equal to minus L di by dt, where L is a self-inductance or a simply inductance. And the unit of this self-inductance or inductance is a Henry. So here you will observe a negative sign, and this negative sign is because of the Lenz law. So according to the Lenz law, the generated EMF or a voltage opposes the rate of change of current through which it is being generated. So here this negative sign implies that voltage that generated opposes the rate of change of current. So let us say this is the equation number 1. So now let us find the expression for this inductance in terms of magnetic flux. So let us say we have one coil, and in this coil the current I is flowing. So because of the flow of current, there will be a generation of a magnetic flux 5. And if the current that is flowing through this coil is varying with time, or we can say that the current that is flowing through this coil is time varying, then the magnetic flux that will be generated will be also be a time varying. So this time varying magnetic flux produces the EMF or a voltage in this coil. So according to the Faraday's law, the voltage that is induced in this coil can be given as V is equal to minus N d phi by dt, where N is the number of turns in this coil. So let us say this is the equation number 2. So here we got two equations. So now let's just compare these two equations. So we can write minus L di by dt is equal to minus N d phi by dt, or we can write L di is equal to N into d5. That means L into I is equal to N into 5. Now here this N into 5 also known as a flux linkage or a magnetic flux linkage, and sometime it is also denoted by a symbol psi. So we can write L is equal to N phi divided by I, or psi divided by I. So this is the expression for inductance in terms of magnetic flux and the current. So now let us see the mutual inductance. So let us say here we have two coils 1 and 2, and the number of turns in these coils are N1 and N2 respectively. Now let's say the current I1 is flowing through this coil number 1, and because of the flow of this current there is a generation of a magnetic flux. Let's say that is a phi1. Now this magnetic flux will link with this coil number 1 and 2. So let us say the phi11 is the flux that is linked with this coil number 1, and the phi12 is the flux that is linked with this coil number 2. So here the current that is flowing through this coil number 1 is time varying, that is it is varying with a time. So because of that, the flux that is linked with this coil number 2 will be also be a time varying. So this time varying magnetic field will generate a voltage in this coil number 2, and let us say that is a V2. So according to the Faraday's law, we can write V2 is equal to minus N2 d∅12 divided by dt, where N2 is the number of turns in this coil number 2. Let us say this is the equation number 3. Now the voltage that is generated in this coil number 2 is proportional to the rate of change of current in the coil number 1. So we can write V2 is proportional to the rate of change of current in the coil number 1. That means V2 is equal to minus M di1 divided by dt, where M is nothing but a mutual inductance between these two coils. And here the negative sign implies that the voltage that is generated in the coil number 2 opposes the rate of change of current. The unit of this mutual inductance is same as the self inductance, that is a Henry. So let us say this is the equation number 4. So now here we have got two equations 3 and 4. So now let's just find the value of this mutual inductance in terms of a magnetic flux. So we can write minus M di1 by dt is equal to minus N2 d∅12 divided by dt, or we can write M into di1 is equal to N2 into d∅12. That means Mi1 is equal to N2 into phi12. So we can write M is equal to N2 phi12 divided by I1. So this is the expression for a mutual inductance when the current is flowing in the coil number 1. Similarly, if current is flowing in the coil number 2, and because of that, if the voltage is generated in the coil number 1, then the mutual inductance M can be given as N1 into phi21 divided by I2, where phi21 is the flux that is linked to the coil number 1 because of the current that is flowing in the coil number 2. So now we can write mutual inductance M is equal to N2 into phi12 divided by I1 is equal to N1 into phi21 divided by I2. So now here the coupling between the two coil defines the how well the flux that is linked to the another coil. If the coupling between the two coil is very good, then the flux that is linked to the another coil will be the good. Similarly, if the coupling between the two coil is bad, then the flux that is linked to the another coil will be the poor. So to define this coupling between the two coils, we use a term coefficient of coupling. That is the fraction of total flux that is linked to the another coil, and it is denoted by a symbol K. So let us say the phi1 is the total flux that is generated because of the current that is flowing in the coil number 1. And out of this flux phi1, the phi12 is the flux that is linked to the coil number 2. And the ratio of this flux phi12 divided by phi1 is known as a coefficient of coupling. Similarly, if phi2 is the total flux that is generated because of the current flowing in the coil number 2, and out of the total flux, if the flux phi21 that is linked to the coil number 1, then the ratio of this phi21 divided by phi2 is known as a coefficient of coupling. So the value of this K is between the 0 and the 1. If value of K is 1, that means the coupling between the two coil is 100%. If the value of K is 0, then there is a no coupling between the two coils. So now let's just find the relation between this coefficient of coupling and the mutual inductance. So earlier we had find this expression for the mutual inductance. So now let's just multiply these two equations. So we can write M square is equal to N1 into phi21 divided by I2 into N2 into phi12 divided by I1. So now let's just multiply and divide this term by a phi1 and phi2. And by rearranging the terms, we can write N1 into phi1 divided by I1 into N2 into phi2 divided by I2 into phi21 divided by phi2 into phi12 divided by phi1. So as we had seen earlier, the first two terms are nothing but the self-inductance of the coil 1 and 2, that is L1 and L2. And if you observe the last two terms, they are nothing but the coefficient of coupling, that is K. So we can write them as a K into K. That means M square is equal to nothing but K square into L1 into L2. That means M is equal to K under root L1 into L2. So this is the expression between the mutual inductance and the coefficient of coupling. So now let us just take a simple example and find the value of this coefficient of coupling K. So here we have given the value of this L1, L2 and the M. And we need to find the value of this coefficient of coupling. So we can write K is equal to M divided by under root L1 into L2. That is nothing but 0.05 divided by under root 0.1 into 0.1. That is equal to 0.05 divided by 0.1. So the value of coefficient of coupling K is equal to 0.5. So in this way, if we have given a value of self-inductance and mutual inductance, then we can find the value of this coefficient of coupling. Or in another way, if we have given a value of the self-inductance and the coefficient of coupling, then we can find the value of this mutual inductance.
So I think all of you understand this self-inductance, mutual inductance, and coefficient of coupling. All of you clear this point? All of you clear this idea? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So all of you have written this equation or not? But I have rakha equation.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Sir.
as you can see in this video, the equation of V2 when current is flowing into the coil number 1, voltage induced in the secondary coil is V2 is equal to minus N2 d phi12 by dt. So those who have not written the equation, please write down now. Now same way, suppose voltage induced in the coil number 1 because of the current flowing into the coil number 2. So we can write V1 is equal to minus N1 d phi21 divided by dt. Clear? And finally, we derive the equation of mutual inductance M. This is the N2 into phi12 divided by I1. This is the mutual inductance when current is flowing into the coil number 1. And same way, suppose current is flowing into the coil number 2 and mutual inductance happens, that is N1 into phi21 divided by I2. Yeah. And now after that we derive the equation of coefficient of coupling. Clear? The same theory here I explained. Same derivation is written here by another way. And finally we get the answer of relationship between mutual inductance and self-inductance, which is M is equal to K square root of L1 into L2. So from this equation you can find out the coefficient of coupling if mutual inductance and self-inductance is given. Clear? So let's calculate the example related to this. Write down this. First example, a circuit has 1000 number of turns enclosing a magnetic circuit 20 centimeter square cross section area with 4 ampere, flux density is 1 Weber per meter square with 9 ampere current and it is 1.5 Weber per meter square. Find the mean value of inductance between this current limit and induced EMF if the current is fall from 9 ampere to 4 ampere in 0.05 second. So here you need to find out self-inductance L and induced EMF because of the rate of change of current from 9 ampere to 4 ampere in 0.05 second. So all of you calculate this. So all you know that equation of self-inductance. So apply the equation of self-inductance and find out it, and then find out the self-induced EMF with this rate of change of current. Okay, which equation you use of inductance? First of all, write down the given data. Here number of turns is given. It means N is given 1000 turns. Cross-sectional area of this magnetic circuit is given. It means A is given. Convert into meter square. 20 into 10 raised to minus 4. Here two current is given. One is 4 ampere. At that point flux density is 1 Weber per meter square, and after that current is 9 ampere, and at that time flux density is 1.4 Weber per meter square. So why this current is changing? Because the current is changing with respect to time, di by dt. Clear? So here di is given. Di means change of the current. 9 minus 4, that is a change in the current. Same way, change in the flux density is also given. Here flux density change from 1 Weber meter square to 1.5 Weber per meter square. So change in the flux density is 1.4 to 1. It means 0.4 Weber per meter square. Clear? So which equation here you can use to find out this value of self-inductance?
L di by dt is equal to N d phi by dt.
Yes, L is equal to N d phi by dt. Okay, but here flux is not given. So, but flux density and area is given. Clear? So you can replace the flux by flux density and area. Clear? So give me the answer of inductance. All of you calculate and give me the answer. 38 number, Malhar Patel. Give me the answer of this inductance. 38
Yes,
number.
sir. Calculating.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Calculating.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Any doubt? Here rate of change of flux density and rate of change of current is given. So dB is given, change in the flux density, and di is given, change in the current. So replace here in the equation of inductance N d phi by dt, replace the flux by B into A. Clear?
Eight into 10 to power minus 3 Henry L.
No, no.
Zero point 16 Henry.
Yes, yes, very good. 0.16 Henry.
16, yes.
Yes, 0.16 Henry. Yes. So then આવે છે. So let's see here again. So equation, as we know that L is equal to, here if you see this equation of inductance, in this last lecture we have seen that two equation, one of induced EMF is L di by dt and another of induced EMF equation is N d phi by dt. If you equalize both this, so we get Li is equal to N phi. Clear? So from this you can make the equation of inductance L is equal to N phi divided by I. Clear? So same equation here I use, but here you can say that the flux density is changed, so flux is also changed. So you can see that here I replace the phi by d phi, and current is also changing, so here replace the I by di. Clear? So here d phi is what? Phi is replaced by b into a, because flux density is what flux divided by area. So here flux is replaced by b into a. Area is always constant, so you cannot differentiate this area, it is constant. So n and a both are constant, so here it is rate of change of flux density into divided by di. So the equation of inductance becomes Na dB by di. All of you clear up to this point? How you get this Na dB by di? અહીંયા સુધી ખબર પડી ગઈ બધાને? All of you, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
now
sir.
dB is given. First flux density is 1 Weber. After that, when current is changed to 9 ampere, flux density is increased to 1.4. So now dB is what? 1.4 minus 1, 0.4 Weber per meter square. And di is also given, which is 9 minus 4, so it is 5 ampere. Number of turns is given, area is given. Convert this into meter square. So put this value in this equation. So finally you get the answer 0.16 Henry. Clear? All of you clear? Get the answer?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now how to
Yes.
find out this? How to find out this induced EMF? Induced EMF for this
L
rate
into
of change
dl
of
by
current.
dt.
Yes. What?
L into dl by dt.
L into di by dt. Yes. So here we already find out this L 0.16 Henry. Di is given. Here you can see that here we need to find out induced EMF if the current is fall from 9 ampere to 4 ampere in 0.05 second. It means rate of change of time is given, dt is given 0.05 and di is given. Di is 5 ampere. So di by dt is how much? 5 ampere is di and dt is 0.05 second. L we already calculated 0.16. Clear? So L di by dt, you finally get the answer 16 volt. All of you can get this answer?
Yes, sir.
કોઈને doubt છે? This example? Yes or no?
No,
Is there any
sir.
doubt? Okay. So now let's move for the next example. Write down a battery of 24 volt is connected to the primary coil 1 of two winding transformer you can see here figure of two winding transformer, and secondary coil is open circuited. Secondary coil, that means coil 2 is open circuited. The coil parameters is given here. R1, that is the resistance of coil 1, 10 ohm. N1, number of turns of coil number 1, 100 turns. And phi1, it means flux links with the coil 1, that is given 0.01 Weber. Same way coil 2 parameter is given R2, N2 and phi2. Calculate self inductance of coil number 1, mutual inductance and coefficient of coupling. And fourth one, self inductance of coil number 2. So all of you calculate this one by one, all these 4 parameters.
Sir,
Yes,
sir, first one 0.41.
0.417. Yes, L1 is self inductance of coil 1 is 0.417 Henry. Yes, very good. All of you take your time and calculate by yourself. Okay, don't write answer directly. Use the equation, calculate, and then after write the answer. Yes. Problem any? Find out mutual inductance. Now here you need to some logic. Use the logic how to find out mutual inductance. Here, what is the flux linkages, or how much amount of flux is linked with the coil 2? It is given or not in this example? Here current is flowing only coil number 1. Okay. So the flux, this phi 2 that is given in coil 2, that is nothing but what? Flux linkages with this coil number 2, because there is no current flowing into coil 2. So there is no self flux produced by the coil number 2. So this flux phi 2, that is because of current flowing into the coil number 1. So that you can say that this phi 2 is nothing but phi 1 2. Clear? So I think all of you have calculated the first parameter. Here voltage, supply voltage is given, resistance of primary winding is given 10 ohm. So you first find out I1, you get 2.4 ampere, and apply the equation of self inductance. L1 is equal to N phi divided by I. Number of turns is given for the coil number 1, 100. Phi 1 is given 0.01 Weber. I1 find out 2.4. So you get the 0.417 Henry. Now, how to find out mutual inductance? So mutual inductance equation, we know that here current is flowing into coil number 1. So mutual inductance M is equal to N2 into phi 1 2 divided by I1. That equation you know. Clear? But here you can see that in the example phi 2 is given 0.008 Weber. So this flux is what? This flux is nothing but some portion of the flux number phi 1, which is produced in the coil number 1, because there is no current flowing into the coil number 2. So there is no way to produce the flux by the self in the coil number 2. So this phi 2 is nothing but a flux links with the coil 2 because of the current flowing into the coil number 1. So we can say that this phi 2 is nothing but a fraction of this phi 1. Or you can say that phi 2 is nothing but phi 1 2. All of you understand this? What I want to say that? All of you? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So M is equal to 0.533 Henry. All of you get this answer? બધાને મળે છે?
Yes,
Yes
sir.
or no? कोई ना डाउट हो तो प्लीज पूछ ही ले जो.
Yes, sir.
How I get this equation n2 phi 2 divided by I1. In theory, we see the equation is n2 phi 1 2 divided by I1. Phi 1 2 is what? That is a sum of the flux of coil 1 that is linked with the coil 2. Clear? But here it is given in terms of phi 2. So that's why I write equation n2 into phi 2 divided by I1. Now find out third one, coefficient of coupling, K. So as you already know the relationship between mutual inductance and self inductance, M is equal to K square root of L1 into L2. Clear? But here again the L2 is unknown quantity, so you cannot apply that equation. So how to find out K? Another way,
Phi 1 2 by phi 1.
yes, here phi 1 2 is what? That is nothing but phi 1. Clear? Here coefficient of coupling means what? The some portion of flux in coil 1 that links with the coil 2, that flux divided by flux in the coil number 1. It means phi 2 divided by phi 1 here. Clear? So K is equal to phi 2 is given 0.008 and phi 1 is given 0.01. So K is equal to 0.8. Clear, all of you? Get the answer? Now find out fourth one, self-inductance in coil number 2. Self-inductance in coil number 2, L2. Now you have applied the equation of mutual inductance M is equal to K square root of L1 and L2. Because you already know the K, you already find out M or L1. So you get the equation of, value of L2, self-inductance in coil number 2. Give me the answer, L2. Yes, please give the answer quickly. L2, 38 number, give the answer. number, give me the answer.
Sir, 1.06.
Yes.
Sir, L2 equals to 1.06.
1.06 Henry. Yes, very good. All of you get this answer? L2, which equation you use? M is equal to K square root of L1 L2, because you already calculated M, K and L1. So you apply this equation and find out this. All of you get this answer? All the four answers?
Sir, could you explain the third one again?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, K is equal to what? Coupling between coil number 1 and 2. Clear? So that coupling you can find out by how much flux of coil 1 that is linked with the coil number 2 if current is flowing into the coil number 1. Clear? Here in this example, current is only flowing into coil number 1. Clear? So coil 1 produce the flux phi 1. Clear? And out of this phi 1, some of the flux is linked with the coil number 2. Clear? And that is nothing but phi 2 is equal to 0.008 Weber. Clear? So why I am saying that this is phi 1 2, because there is no current is flowing into the coil number 2. So there is no chance that the flux produced in the coil 2 by the current flowing into the coil number 2 itself, because there is no current flowing into the coil 2. Clear? So here flux produced in the coil number 2 phi 2, that is nothing but a coupling of the sum of the flux of coil number 1, which is 0.01 Weber. Clear? So that's why you can see that phi 1 is greater than phi 2. It means this phi 2 is the sum of the portion of this phi 1 that is linked with the coil number 2. And we already see in the video that K is equal to what? Flux links with the coil 2 because of current flowing into the coil number 1 divided by total flux of the coil number 1, which is nothing but phi 1. So K is equal to flux linkage phi 2 divided by phi 1. Clear, all of you? All of you clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's why the name is given coefficient of coupling. If K is equal to 1, it means what? Whatever the flux produced in the coil number 1, all the flux links with the coil number 2. So if phi 1 is here, suppose it is here, it is given 0.01, and suppose here phi 2 is given same 0.01, it means all the flux of coil 1 that is linked with the coil 2. So coefficient of coupling is 1. It means 100% coupling between coil 1 and 2. Clear? But here flux coupling is 0.008. So here we calculate actually the percentage of flux links with the coil number 2 because of current flowing into the coil number 1. I think all of you cleared this. Is there any doubt now?
No, sir.
Okay. So this is the first way to calculate the coefficient of coupling. Another way you can apply this equation. M is equal to K square root of L1 and L2. But this equation you can apply when if you know the value of M and L1 and L2. Here in this example we know only M and L1. L2 is the unknown quantity before calculating this K. Clear? So that's why here flux of coil 1 is given and flux of coil 2 given, which is links with the coil number 2. So we find out by this equation. Clear? Otherwise, if L1, L2 and M is given, you can use this equation. I hope it is clear to you. Now move for the next example. Write down flux of 1 milliweber. Now from this example, you can clearly understand this. Okay, same concept used here. Flux of 1 milliweber is produced in coil A having 800 turns, carries a current of 4 ampere. The same current when flow through the coil B, it means 4 ampere current flowing into the coil number B of 1200 turns, and that produces the flux of 1.5 milliweber. The two coils are placed beside such that 80% of the flux produced by coil A that is links with the coil B. So find out first self inductance of each coil. It means L1 and L2, self inductance of coil 1 and 2. Second, you find out mutual inductance between the two coils, it means M. And next, you find out the coefficient of coupling. So this example is almost same like a previous example. So calculate this and give me the answer. First find out L1 and L2. So which equation you use? Same as the previous example. L1 is equal to which equation? Can anyone give me the answer?
N1 phi 1 upon I.
Yes, N1 phi 1 upon
by I.
yes, N1 phi 1 upon I1. That gives the self inductance of coil number 1. Same way L2 is equal to N2 into phi 2 divided by I2. Yes. Okay, calculate this first L1 and L2.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, L1 0.20 Henry
Yes. Very good. L1
and
is
L2
point.
and L2 0.45.
Yes. Yes. L1 is 0.2 Henry
Yes.
and L2 is 0.45.
45.
Yes. Yes. Very good. Then find out mutual inductance M.
Sir, mutual inductance 0.24 Henry.
Yes. Yes. Very good. Mutual inductance M is equal to 0.24. Here 80% of flux produced in coil A that is linked with the coil B. It means what is the value of 512? 512 is 80% of 51 flux of coil A. It means 80% of 1 milliweber. That is nothing but 512. So in the equation of M, N2 into 512 divided by I1, the 512 is what? 80% of 1 milliweber. Here,
K equals to 0.8.
K is equal to 0.8. Yes, yes, very good, very good. So all of you get all these 4 answers. You can see here answer I have given. I have not calculated here. Just write the answer of all these 4 parameters. Self-inductance L1, L2, 0.2 and 445 Henry. M is 0.24 and coefficient of coupling K is equal to 0.8. All of you get the answer? Is there any doubt? Yes? Anyone? Is there any doubt? All of you have calculated this example? So I move for the next slide. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So next topic is dynamically induced EMF. So the previous topic is what? Statically induced EMF. And in that there are 2 categories. One is self-induced EMF and mutual induced EMF. And that is produced because of the property of coil, which is called as a self-inductance and mutual inductance. Now let's see what is the dynamically induced EMF and how they induce the voltage into the coil. So as we already discussed that why it is called as a dynamically induced EMF, because here EMF is induced in a movable conductor. Okay, so here single conductor, suppose of length is L meter, which is moving at right angle to the uniform magnetic field or magnetic field density B wave per meter square with a velocity of V meter per second. Then suppose conductor is moved in this magnetic field with a small distance dx in a time of dt second. So the area swept by this conductor is how much? Length of conductor is L and this conductor is moved with a small distance dx. So this area swept by the conductor in the magnetic field, that is nothing but L into dx. Clear? Here remember that the conductor is placed at right angle to the uniform magnetic field. If your conductor is parallel to the magnetic field, then there is no possibility of generating the induced EMF, or we can say that there is no change of the flux or rate of change of flux. Here, so you can see here the one sentence is written: if the conductor is moved in parallel to the magnetic field, there will be no change in the flux and hence no EMF induced in this conductor. Clear? So remember that always the conductor is moved if right angle to the direction of flux, then and then you can produce the EMF. Clear? Now you can see this concept by this figure. You can see the N and S pole, that it is a permanent magnet, and see the flux lines are passing from N to S. and perpendicular to this flux line, it means right angle to this flux line, this conductor is moving in this direction. You can see the direction of this conductor is given with a velocity of v. Clear? Now, here as we say that this conductor is moved in this magnetic field with a small distance dx, and the length of this conductor is L. So how much flux cut by this conductor by moving the distance of dx? So as we know that the flux phi is equal to what? Flux density into area. Clear? Suppose flux density in this area is B. So it is B into area swept by this conductor. So area is what? Length of the conductor multiply the distance by which your conductor is moving. So this distance is some of small distance dx. So equation of flux cut by this conductor dx is equal to BL into dx, Weber. Clear? Now, according to the Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, as we know that the EMF equation E is equal to N d phi by dt. Now here d phi is what? BL into dx. So this replace this d phi by BL into dx. And here N is how much? N is what? Number of turns. Here we take only one conductor. So it means N is equal to 1. So N is equal to 1. Replace d phi by BL into dx. So equation of induced EMF, that becomes E is equal to BL dx by dt. And as we know that dx by dt, that is what? Rate of change of distance with respect to time, that is nothing but what? Velocity. Clear? So here dx by dt, that is replaced by velocity v. So now you get the another equation of induced EMF in terms of flux density, length and velocity. That is E is equal to BLV watt. Here B is the flux density, L is the length of conductor and V is the velocity by which your conductor is moving in the magnetic field. Clear? Now suppose take any special case. You can see this figure number 2. Here in this first figure, your conductor is moving exactly at right angle to the direction of flux. Clear? But here in the second figure, you can see that your conductor is moving at some angle theta with respect to the direction of flux. It means it is moving with the velocity of v at angle theta with respect to direction of flux. So in the direction of flux, that component becomes what? V cos theta. Velocity component v cos theta in the same direction of flux. In the perpendicular direction, it means right angle direction, the velocity component that becomes v sin theta. Clear? And as we know that flux EMF is induced when conductor is moving right angle to the direction of flux. So now suppose if conductor is moved at angle theta to the magnetic field, then velocity at which conductor move, that becomes v sin theta. Clear? So now equation of induced EMF, that becomes BLV sin theta. All of you clear this? All of you clear this concept of dynamically induced EMF is EMF equation in terms of flux density, length and velocity. All of you clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So now write down this example. I give this example for your homework. Just simple apply this equation and calculate the value of induced EMF. A conductor of length 10 meter move at right angle to the uniform magnetic field of flux density 10 Weber per meter square with a velocity of 100 meter per second. Calculate the EMF induced in it. Find also the value of EMF induced when conductor moves at angle of 40 degree to the direction of field. Write down this question. I give this example for homework. We'll discuss in the next lecture. All of you come with the answer of this example in the next lecture.
Sir, can you share the PPT?
Yes, I will share. Today now I will share all PPT. Now here I complete this whole chapter number 4, electromagnetism. Next lecture will start the chapter number 5, AC circuit. All of you clear? Is there any doubt? All of you write down the answer of this example. Induced EMF E1 10 kV, E2, this is a voltage induced when conductors move at angle 40 degree, 7451.13 volt. I will calculate and get this answer. So now here I stop this lecture. If you have any doubt, you can ask the question.